we've had this tremendously strong springtime hailstorm last night. So the transition from winter to summer here in the middle Himalaya does bring about these very strong, powerful weather elements. And this hailstorm brought about 3 inches of hailstones, almost 1 inch in length, within a period of half an hour, and pretty much destroyed all the springtime buds and flowers and leaves that were coming out here in the middle Himalaya, in the forest and in the gardens and botanical garden and the fruit orcharding zones. It's still thundering, there's lightning. 14 hours later, after the hailstorm, it's still threatening to rain, hail, sleet down on us, and this enormous storm has brought about a lot of destruction. This is our little plant nursery here, where we are growing rhododendron trees. These are rhododendron trees which we are nurturing to plant into the forest, and you can see the rhododendron leaves have been battered. They've been broken by the hailstorm, but not completely destroyed. And here in some cases, so we try to protect some delicate plants here by quickly covering them with inverted pots. So we try to protect a few of the delicate plants, Aquilesias, Himalayan Aquilesias. Others we covered up with buckets to protect them. But there was this sudden downpour and surge, and that caused this tremendous amount of hail. You can see the hailstones have not melted, and it's still about freezing, and still sleeting. There's still a bit of sleet, but the sleet is mostly melting as it hits the ground now, and the temperature is around 0, and it's pretty much destroyed all the springtime budding of the rhododendrons and all the other local flowers. You can just get me walking. So a lot of the flowers here have been battered by the storm. So we're going to try and see what cut flowers we can still salvage, because the buds have been completely damaged. The magnolia's leaves have all been battered. The magnolia's had all its leaves battered. Each and every leaf is battered and broken through. Sleeting, raining, and very windy here. The deodars are rustling with the wind passing through the leaves. The sleet and rain have overturned the leaves of the oak trees behind me, and the sleet has completely come down and broken all the buds and leaf buds and flowers here. Let's see what damage has happened here in the gardens. Daffodils here, which were in springtime glory yesterday, have been battered by the completely battered. And the buds and flowers, this is what's left of them, completely broken down and battered. So not much, but they'll recover. There are more buds, but the snowstorm has really done a lot of damage here. It's been almost 24 hours now, and the birds have still not come out to forage. There were no owls or nightjars last night, and in the daytime there have been no raptors, no smaller birds. It's just been so cold and miserable. Everything's been hidden away and hiding from the hail and the very inclement windy weather. And this is a lovely beds of daffodils which were in full bloom last night, and the hailstones have just completely battered them, and this is what's left. The daffodils are down to shattered stems, absolutely broken to bits. The hail has felled them at the bases, so there's absolutely nothing left. Each one of them has just been shattered. So this was covered in daffodils yesterday, Pumari. All daffodils gone now. So this is what happens. The springtime budding of rhododendron, the gentians, the saxifrage or the bergenia, and all the other blossoms and buds have just been pretty much destroyed. So this is what happens. There's a normal course of things, and the springtime winter transition brings about this very inclement weather with very harsh and sudden temperature changes, with wind, the wind chill bringing down the temperature to well below 0 degrees, and bringing about these extreme weather elements where the precipitation has fallen from a certain height, and in the course of its falling down, it's aggregated, the droplets have aggregated together, the temperature has suddenly dropped, and it's turned to hailstone and sleet. And so this sudden huge accumulation of hail at night. We've had 3 inches of hail and 3 inches of sleet, which is now melting off. And I'm standing here in front of our ideological headquarters for My Himalaya, the haunted house at Jabbarkhet in Mussoorie, the one-time home of the Amir of Afghanistan around 1840 at the beginning of the Anglo-Afghan War, when Dost Muhammad was kicked out of Kabul and sent here into exile by the British in this old, what is now known as the haunted house, but which was once a flourishing home for the Amir of Afghanistan and for families over the years, but has been in disrepair now for many decades, and which will now hopefully be bringing back to better days. And the botanical gardens and our flower collections around it, subject to hailstorms and damage from inclement weather, which is all part of life in the Himalaya, and being at 7,200 feet up in this temperature and latitude zone. So this is a wonderful area in the Himalaya, but we have the usual challenges, one of which we have just experienced with this huge storm that's come through.